Yeah, it did its thing again. But then anyway, I found the scripture. Matthew chapter 24, verse 33. So likewise, oh shit, no, wait a minute. Matthew 24 and 32. So it says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. Before the camera fell off, I was talking about that. You know, Yahushua said like, hey, you know the season, you know, but the end of this society, of your little world, because you down with Esau, that little bubble, you don't see that bubble is about to burst, you know. Right, so Matthew 24 and 33. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. So when you see all these turmoils and stuff like that, earthquakes in diverse places, floodings, tempests, you know, you should know that hey, the Most High allows Esau to use his weather modification thing, or the Most High allows Esau to give you illnesses and pestilence and sicknesses through the food that he allows for him to be to put in that food for you to eat it. That's the judgment of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, because the earth have committed have broken the Israelites have broken the everlasting covenant, but the earth has also been breaking the laws of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, because they're supposed to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments too. Isaiah chapter 2 shows you that. And Micah chapter 4 also, where it shows you that the heathen nations, they're going to keep the law. Zephaniah chapter 2 also, the Most High said, he shall famish all the gods of the earth, and they all shall bow down to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And Zechariah 14 also says it, if you don't keep the Feast of Tabernacles, for example, which is the holy day of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and of the Israelites does, then the Most High is going to cause it to where you're going to starve to death, because you ain't going to have rain. And if you ain't got rain, then you don't have food for vegetables, water for vegetables and water for fruit. You're going to die. And your animals are going to die too, because they need water in order for you to live. Because you might be like the Mongolians, the majority of their diet consists of meat. Because if you check out that region over there, nothing grows. So they need to import fruit and vegetables. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing over there, but hey, this shows you that these people could live in a harsh land where miles and miles upon miles you don't see trees with fruit. You just see emptiness, man. Just look up the land, Mongolian landscape. If you look up that land, you don't see no fruits. Like trees and vegetables, you don't see nothing. All their food is imported. But that shows you that they can live in a hostile environment. People can adjust. That's how you have Jacob descendants, by the way, right now. But in the spiritual sense, they are in the land of Mongolia, man. They have no fruit, they have no vegetables, they have no water, nothing. Spiritually, they're dry bones, man. They don't even have flesh. That's why the Heavenly Father will send his men to come and give them that flesh upon their body. And everybody has their people. For example, you have let's say 3 singers or whatever. Not everybody on the planet Earth is going to love all 3 of them. It's possible. You have people that love all 3 of them, but you're going to have certain people that love 1 or 2 or stuff like that, and different ones of them. Yeah, because people have taste, man. Not everybody's favorite color is the color orange. Therefore, the Most High will set up men that people will gravitate toward. But Matthew chapter 10 says that those men are sent by the Lord Yahweh Shai, and other people are, either you like them or you don't. It doesn't really matter, as long as this word comes out. And the people that like a certain person, they're gonna gravitate toward that certain person. So Matthew chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 12 says that verse 4. Now there are Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. So you have different people with different type of classes, with different mentalities, with different gifts. Certain people have breakdowns of whatever this. Certain people are good motivators, motivational speakers. Certain people are good with this. It's all in together, because that is how it is supposed to be. Yeah. And you do have people that have a lot within one. Those are the greater ones. Because you do have greats amongst. You shouldn't even want to stand next to King David talking about, I'm as great as him because I'm an Israelite too. The last time that happened is not actually the last time, because it's still happening until this day. People want to put themselves in high seats. But anyway, but the example is the last time that happened was in the book of Numbers 18, where the Most High wanted to have the Levites to have the authority on doing certain things, but the other tribes, they also was like, no man, Most High ain't only dealing with you, he dealing with us too, which is I think Numbers chapter 17. I know about the other one, which it was the one where the Most High opened up the earth and swallowed them. I'm not talking about those. I forgot their names. But anyway, not that. The other one with the 12 tribes, they also wanted to have something to say. They didn't want to just listen to Moses or the Levites. They wanted to have a status too. And the Most High showed them, like, no, I chose the Levites. I didn't choose you. I chose you for other things. So just play your part, man. What you got to learn to do up in this world is play your part. I'm me. I'm not trying to fill somebody else's shoes, man. I got my own. That's a fucked up type of spirit if you have that around you, because you always got to be careful. Like this mother, he wants to wear my shoes, man. Can't stand motherfuckers like that, man. And it's not a good spirit to have. You shouldn't want to be like another person to where you want to basically replace him. That's what I mean. But you do have things that other people have that you not should desire, but it's not a big deal if you desire it to better yourself. But not his bitch, man, or his car, or his fancy shit. What are you doing that for, man? But anyway, let me go on. Now it says here, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. So there are different administrations. Admins. Basically, you could say authorities and stuff like that, something like that. Administrations. People have different mannerisms of going through things. Certain people like to explain a lot. Certain people just short off with it, like if you ain't getting it, we moving on. Which is sometimes you got to apply that, man. I'm reading. Sometimes you got to apply that, and sometimes you got to have patience, man. You got it. Not everybody should just be kicked to the curb. Like, nah, I ain't talking to you. Certain people, they might come up to battle and stuff like that, not believing in the scriptures, but you can see that he has a seal, but not according to the Most High. Now, some of them just have a seal of stubbornness, and they just want to have Esau's way, because they follow Esau's explanation of the scriptures. Them, once you spot it, like he got a different seal, he got a seal of Esau, he's branded, and you leave him alone. Anyway, verse 6, so 1 Corinthians 12:6. And there are diversities of operations, so different mannerisms of how people actually do things. Like I just said, some people might be short off, some people are pure, they deal with people purely and stuff like that. Some people are forward, I don't like that shit. But anyway, some people are forward, they want to be short off and stuff like that. And you have different type of forwards. You have the ones that are really proud, and you have the ones that are they're just a different spirit, man. They're just rowdy. They're just the rowdy people. Certain people, I don't like them. But certain people, I like them. But it depends. It really depends. Like I said, but it's not about me. I'm just telling you what I don't like. And that's the type of shit that I don't like. So not everybody's going to accept that shit. But anyway. And by the way, when it says servants, be obedient to your master, whether he forward or whether he just what's the other word again? Just friendly or something like that. Yeah, that's not talking about you. You know why? Do you have a slave? If you do, then you need to let him work 6 years for you, and then in the 7th, you need to let him go. And by the way, when you let him go, you need to give him everything that you have where you have been blessed with, and then you give it unto him in order to make him rich. You got houses, give him a house. You got this, give him that. Give him this. You got that, give him that. So that's not talking about you. So what's up, man? So when people trying to use that as a precept, like, yeah, but even if I'm forward, you still gotta listen to me, bitch, nigga. Are you my master? Don't make me try and kill you, boy. Because that's being you're being disrespectful right now. You're not my master, boy. Don't get killed. And second, I'm not your slave. That just gonna get you murdered, boy. Like you know. But anyway, so it says right here that there are diversities of gifts. Like I just explained to you, 6 years work, and the seventh you need me to let me go. I'm not your fucking slave. And if you are, then you need to all your ear. And then, but if you have a Hebrew servant, it's basically like a butler. That's between you and the individual man. You can do that. I have no problem with it, but I'm not your fucking servant. So yeah, but then if you want to show somebody that there's a hierarchy, then you need to grab the book of Isaiah, now Exodus chapter 18, which shows you that Moses put men over men and stuff like that. So again, when the scripture said, servants obey your master, there's but one master, that's Yahweh Shai. Understand this what thou readest. There's only one master, that's Yahweh Shai. That master that you have in the physical form, the masters in this world, those are the ones that you have concerning the book of Exodus chapter 21, if I'm correct, or Leviticus 21, where it says that you need to have let me say it again, that you need to let a servant, you can have a Hebrew servant for 6 years, but in the seventh, you need to let him go. That's the need. I put it in front of the sentence, made a mistake. But anyway, that's the only one. Other than that, you don't have no servants, boy. You're not a master. And Yahweh Shai said, James, in the book of James, chapter 3, verse 1, it says that be ye not many masters, for you will have the greater condemnation. But nowadays, we can actually put it forth as, don't be like this great master teaching, you know? And the word master means rabbi, by the way. But don't be, well, that one too. Well, don't be, you can be a master in the law, in the scriptures and stuff like that. But I'm talking about a master over a person. Because if you fuck up, you're going to get, if you cause them to fuck up, you're going to get twice as much. Or if you got 5 people, you're going to get 5 as much punishment. Because that's what your dumb ass deserve. You want to be a master, right? Don't make mistakes then. But you have masters in the scriptures. You have master teachers. Going on to the elder apostles at Great Millstone. Those are the master teachers. It's not a master as your slave. So the Bible doesn't contradict itself. Because a lot of people, they want to use like, yeah, but you Hebrew Israelites, you enslaved yourselves. Yeah, but you don't understand what it goes into, man. And if you explain it to them, some of them will hear. You know, if they really believe, they will hear. And the others, they just want to talk shit. Like Esau, for example. And you got clown Jacob descendants doing it too. You know, saying, yeah, but you Hebrews used to sell each other. It's not the captivity that you understand. It's actually a butler. You know, butler do things in the house, and he was so loving toward his servants that some of them servants wanted to stay servants until death did them part, or until the year of Jubilee. Because in the book of Job chapter 3, it explains that when you die, the servant is free from his master. So you're not going to be a master there after death. You're going to be free because you all your ear, and then therefore, when you die, you are released from your master. And let's say your master dies too. Then you are released from your master. So you're not my master. Not in that sense, man. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. But then again, that's what you get when you read the scriptures without a guide. You know? The scripture shows you that you need a guide, man. You need to listen to the elder apostles at Great Millstone. They need to lace your boots like a little child. You need to get your boots laced, man. Children, if they put on a shoe, they're going to trip 100% because they don't know how to tie their shoelaces. You need your boot laced, man. You need your shoes laced before you can run, because they want to run with them shoes on, with the laces loose. That's a pending fall. All you need to do is see it and be like, oh, he gonna fall. Keep on running. And they want to run fast too. Like they want to run through the scriptures. Anyway, let me go on. So it says right here, 1 Corinthians 12 and 5. And there are different administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same Yahweh. It is the same power, Yahweh. I wanted to say Spirit. It is the Spirit. But it's the same power which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. And how do you profit withal? For example, one of the mannerisms that you profit withal is one of the mannerisms of it. There's multiple, but what the hell? But one of the mannerisms wherewith you profit withal is 1 Corinthians 9 and eh? Oh. 1 Corinthians 9 and 19. For though I be freed from all men, yet have I made myself servants unto all, that I may gain the more. That's why. Sometimes, and wait, let me go on. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I may gain the Jews. Why? You turn into them in order for them to see you as one of theirs, so that when you talk to them, they're going to accept you. Because if you talk to a person that, you're not really of his, according to him, you're not really of his caliber. You're not really, it's not that he's trying to play high. It's more like a crackhead is not going to be friends with a sporty person, like a healthy person. They're not going to be friends. They might know each other from back in the days. He turned out to be a crackhead, and this guy staked in the gyms and stuff like that. You're not going to be seeing them hanging around all the time. Two fitness guys are going to be hanging around often, and two smokies, they're going to be hanging around with each other. So that's what I mean concerning the caliber type of thing. So going on, so it says here, to them that are under the law, as under the law, that I may gain them that are under the law. So to them that are under the law, I adjust myself. That's the word I'm looking for. I adjust myself as if I'm one of them, because, well, I am, but I don't play it like that. You know what I'm saying? You keep the laws, but you ain't showing them that you do. But they are the showers, so you show them like, okay, I know it too, but I'm not walking around like that. But I'm not walking around like as if I know everything. Like, oh, no. Because if you go around people, let me read on. So it says 21, to them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to the Most High, but under the law of Yahweh Shai, which is Romans chapter 7, right? Which is Romans 7, which shows you that, though I be, basically I'm kind of free to the law, but I'm not free like I said, I can do whatever I want. Because if you can't do whatever you want. But if you do make a mistake, Yahweh Shai is not gonna the Most High is not gonna put your ass to death. Because that is what happened back in the days, where Hebrews chapter 10, verse 28 and 29 explains to you that back in the days you got put to death with no mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. You broke the law and they put you to death. But nowadays, the woman was caught in adultery in John 8, and she didn't die that day. They wanted to kill her, but Yahweh Shai put them on their place. Like, hey man, you clean. And then every last one of them started to remember that they left something on the stove. They started to remember that they committed adultery too. That's why everybody left. They was just not caught. So, therefore, don't put them to death. Because, or else you need to be put to death for your adultery, for example. But anyway, so it says right here, to them that are without law, as without law, not being without law to the Most High, but under the law to Yahweh Shai, that I might, here it comes again, that I might gain them that are without the law. So if you go around people that really don't know the law and stuff like that, y'all, the Israelites, right? The law of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. If you go around them and you start chin-checking them like, hey, you need to do this, you can't wear that, you can't do this, they're gonna be looking at you like, hey man, this guy's a bother, man. Why is this guy bothering me, man? Because they're used to being free. I'm gonna give you an example of a fact. If you raise a dog that has never been on the chain before, and then one day you put a chain on him, he's gonna fight. He's going to fight. Therefore, you have to break him down and make him get used to the chain. And now, when you walk, he's gonna grab the rope in his mouth, whatever he has, snout, whatever, and then he's gonna hand it to you like, hold me. That's a law-abiding citizen. The law of the scriptures. That's a law-abiding citizen. That's a law-abiding Jacob descendant that really wants that leash of Yahweh Shai. Like, here, hold me. Don't make me do stupid things. Check me with the scriptures. Put scriptures in my head when I'm about to do something stupid. Like, hey, wait a minute. The scripture says about hey, shit. I wasn't thinking about that. And then you don't do it. Sometimes you fight against the flesh. No. Let me say it again. Always you're going to fight against the flesh. But it's a good thing. It'll make you sharp. It also will teach you something about yourself, and it will also teach you a lot about the people around you. You know? Then you will start to learn things, well, you always do, even in the world. But in this truth, you're going to start to learn a different type of mentality, like, hey, this and this and that and stuff like that. But anyway, you're going to learn things. So 22, to the weak, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 22. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. Yeah, because if you go around weaker people in this faith, or physical, and you go act like you're some kind of strong motherfucker, lifting up powerful scriptures and stuff like that, or, lifting up actual heavy things, they're going to be looking at you like, what's this guy doing? That's why you shouldn't be doing that. Why are you showing off? You need to be normal and natural. Just blend in. And they won't be like, yeah, I don't want this guy around me. That's because you blended in. You didn't act out of their order. You got to soften up yourself, man. If you know that people can't stand certain type of things, don't do it. Then don't do it. If you know they can't stand it, don't do it. I was always like that. Still like that, Yahweh Ratazah. For example, if you are a certain way, and then you see people, they're doing shit. Anyway, so therefore, be weak around the weak and be strong around the strong. Again, you don't have to show them that you're strong. Just be so that they know, like, hey, this guy's, he good. He can hang with us. Meanwhile, you come to bring the scriptures for them. But it's just metaphor what I just said, man. Metaphorically, in the scriptures, strong in the scriptures, weak in the scriptures, strong in the spirit, weak in the spirit. You could be strong in the physical, weak in the physical, stuff like that. But anyway, for example, around nerds, I'm not going to try to play. I'm talking about nerds back in the days, because nowadays everybody's a nerd, which is a good thing. Everybody got their little computer and stuff like that. But back in the days, in classrooms and stuff like that, ain't nobody wanted to be hanging around with the nerds. I was with the nerds, man, playing PlayStation. And, well, it wasn't PlayStation. It was actually Nintendo. And then Super Nintendo, I was with them. I was chilling. And you ain't gonna fight them in front of me. you ain't gonna bully them in front of me too. That was the funny thing. I ain't no tough guy, but I know damn sure, like, funny thing is them bullies. And let me not talk. It's just the point is that with the weak you make yourself weak, with the strong you make yourself strong, right? Going on. To the weak I became 1 Corinthians 9:22. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And it's only the some that are going to be saved, because not all Israel is going to be saved in this go around. The majority of them are going to die. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. They have no idea what's going on. It's going to sneak up on them. They're going to be having marriages. Some of them are going to be straight up in adultery right then and there. And then the Lord is not going to say, go and do the sin no more. Because the thing is, you should know better. If you have to sneak around, do stuff, you know you're doing bad. If you do it in the open, then you know you don't have to worry about it. But then again, you have the flip side of that, the other side of that, which is they show their face as Sodom, they hide it not. Their countenance, they show it, they don't care. He really thinks he's doing nothing wrong, but he knows he's doing something wrong. Why don't you go to another country and then do that same shit? He's not going to do it because he knows it's wrong. In certain countries, they will harm you. Or they'll send you to the aftermath. I mean, spiritual. They'll do that to you. Right, so First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2. Verse 3 now. I already read 2. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Because you're looking around, you're not in a docile spirit of mind to where you have no idea what the hell is going on. You have an idea. You're looking around. You see the signs that are coming. You see the signs that need to come. You already know the future. You can basically call yourself a prophet. I already know what's going to happen in a few years. Everything is going to be crashed. But then again, Esau knows it too. But he been talking about the fall of the economy since 2008. And it didn't really 100% came. Well, let me say it better. Sorry. It came, but it came for the middle class, and it came for some of the rich. It came for a lot of people actually. In Germany, they was jumping up. They was jumping out of the buildings because they lost all their money at the stock market. Okay, certain places they killed themselves. That was funny. But in America, they killed themselves too. In Japan, they kill themselves so much that they have to put nets just not to die. Because they had a bad time. Bad time. But it says here, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming upon them. As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right. Because when a woman, her water breaks, all of a sudden she just walking, having a great time. And then she starts screaming. All of it. 15 seconds ago, she was happy. And now she's screaming. So that's how the destruction is going to come. All of a sudden. It's like that song back in the day. Suddenly I see some niggas that I don't like. But got them. So it says right here, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4. But ye brethren, already read that. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober in spirit. Be sober, put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. The helmet that you have upon your head is to protect you against the bullshit that they're coming up with this, which is things that are trying to make you change doctrine and mind and stuff like that. For example, if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect. Did you know that certain videos that people actually make videos upon it, not knowing that is fake? I did it, man. I made a mistake too, man. I'm telling you. I didn't even know that shit was, but that was about a statue. I saw a statue of Jeffrey Epstein, but there is one, but no, not Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer. Sorry. It was not a statue of Jeffrey Dahmer. So you had one that it was fake, but it was a statue of Jeffrey Dahmer. But I was actually in that same video talking about a statue that Esau made. Concern. What? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's good, man. Right. So it says right here that it says right here. What was I saying? Wait. If you type in on Google the statue of the victim of Jeffrey Dahmer. Let me try and show you. Jeffrey Dahmer. He had a victim that they made into a statue. Statue. Wait, let me show you something. Oh yeah, they call it the Louis Barrage Ark of Historia. Okay. Now check this out. This is that statue. All you need to do in Google is type in Jeffrey Dahmer victim statue, and you're gonna see the dead body too, in the shape as where this statue is done. But who did this? Hey, wait, you can't see it? The reflection is on it. Here, you see that body? Okay, then you need to Google that for yourself if you have the time. Just and then you're going to see a picture. You're going to see that body. I'm not going to show you that because it's not a good picture. But you can look it up for yourself. And then you will see that Esau has it in his mansion. Look, they have it in their mansion, man. You know, these elite so-called billionaires and all that type of stuff. They have it in their mansion, man. You know? Because they honor Jeffrey Dahmer. They honor Ed Gein. They honor all the serial killers. You see, Esau, he knows who the serial killers are. You know? He knows that they are the spirits of vengeance because he makes movies after these characters. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, dude, whatever thing. You have, let me see, you have other, like Jason and stuff like that. Freddy Krueger on Elm Street. Now, if you look up the Elm Street thing, it actually happened. There was real stuff going on around there in Elm Street with some devil shit, man. And I think on Elm Street is where they brought JFK and they popped them over there too. So it's a demonic street where you have a lot of spiritual, satanic type of things going on around there. Elm Street. Just look it up. Just look up Elm Street. You're going to see that thing is not some kind of fake thing movie. That thing is real. And then they base the movie off of it, you know? And then they put their extra stuff, you know, movie magic, you know, movie extra stories. They just put it to flare up the story and stuff like that. But that thing with the Elm Street, that's based on some real stuff, you know? JFK was basically smoked on Elm Street, if I'm correct. Just look it up. Just put Elm Street reality, just stuff like that, or the JFK thing. Put that one too, and then you're gonna find out that those things are real. But anyway, let me go back to the second Esdras because I went all over the place. Let me go back to where I was. Second Esdras chapter 9. Before I wrap it up, you gotta wrap it up, man. Wrap it up. Second Esdras chapter 9, right? So it says right here, yo. Is this right here? There's a go. There's a go. This is right here. Okay, so it says right here. Second Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then. He answered me then. And said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, one of the signs is you're going to see the daughters of Jacob in troubles, you know. But I have also said, like, listen, the woman didn't die in adultery in John chapter 8 because the Most High, the Lord Yahushua had his mercies, right? And then you, for example, like I said, he that doesn't work doesn't eat. Well, then he that doesn't have a virgin needs to be put to death. You see? So when you think that you're going to do certain things concerning, oh, I'm going to lay down the law on this one. Why don't you back down and just start thinking like, oh yeah, you know, we under the curses and stuff like that. And there's certain things which, you know, for example, you have people working on the Sabbath. And you know it's Sabbath. See? Look, don't be over righteous, man. But anyway, don't be over righteous. You know? But it is a good thing when you're trying to teach people stuff and stuff like that. Ain't no problem with it. I love that. Don't come over as if you're the greater. Like you know better and stuff like that. You're this great. You know, you have certain look. Me, I've seen this often. When somebody trying to explain the scriptures to a person, right? It turns into a battle, man. It turns into an almost physical fight, or they just argue and stuff like that, right? For example, if you want to help your family members, you come with these scriptures, right? They're gonna fight against you. But if you do it a certain way, if you really want to help that person, do it a certain way. For the weak, you become weak. For the this, you become this. For the that, you become that. And then you're gonna see, like, he's gonna see you as himself. For example, if you meet a person, right, you just know the person for like 3, 4, 5 days, maybe a week or something like that at your job, whatever. Just an example, right? And then he might say something, and then you say, "Hey, man, fuck you, man." Those are fighting words, man. That could be like fighting words right there. What the fuck you mean, fuck you? But if you know, if you know him for like a year, 2, 3 years, and then you say, he says the same thing, and then he say, "Hey man, fuck you, man." And then he's gonna respond like, "Hey man, cool, I'm gonna see you later, man. Hey, I'm gonna see you later, man." You give a hand, dap, whatever, shoulder, whatever, and then you walk, off, and he walks off or she. But if you don't know that person and you say the same thing with the "fu" thing, that's a fight right there. So you need to understand who the fuck you're talking to, man. Me personally, I'm not doing that. For example, like, "Hey man, you know who you're talking to?" You mean who you're talking with, right? I never said that shit. Like, "Man, do you know who you're talking to?" Looking at you like, really? Anyway. Funny as hell. Anyway, certain ways, if you really want to help, adjust yourself. And maybe you don't give a shit. Well, then don't be surprised if they don't give a shit neither. You know? Anyway, blessed are the foot of the ones that are peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now you have certain people that they just want to, move on and all that there, but need to fix certain things, nigga. But then again, you don't need to do any motherfucking thing. Right? There's always consequences to anything and everything upon the planet Earth. That's why it's called left and right, basically. Have a balance too. Anyway, so it says right here, second Ezra chapter 9, verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, so people are going to start fighting against each other. There was a bunch of protests a few days ago here in the Netherlands. A lot of people was getting arrested. I forgot what the topic was, man. It was a topic that they was not happy with the mannerisms that the government is handling them. I think it was some protest about immigrations and stuff like that. Believe me, you do have it. But when you walk around here, you don't see that. Because, yeah, this is Amsterdam. But you have certain parts of Amsterdam, they're pissed off too. But still, once you go like outside of Amsterdam and all that there, then they're going to start, them Edomites over there. They hate the fact that them Ishmaelites and Aram, from Armenia, Syria, and stuff like that, they hate the fact that they're putting them there because Amalek is doing that. He's setting them up in order to disperse them. And then you're going to have 2nd Ezra chapter 15 or 16, where it says that the dragons of Arabia and the wild boars of Carmania, they're going to get together and they're going to fight against Esau, and they're going to win too. In England, they already set it up like that, man. Man, if you look at England, you'd be like, God. Type in Google certain cities in England where you have more people from Pakistan, people from, you have more of them than you have Edomites. And a lot of them Edomites, they moving from there. So they're making it even better and bigger for them, man. They're making it better and bigger for them. Like, they're giving them up and they don't like it. So they get together in another city. Then they go get together and hate. Because that's what they do. And then they go hate against them. They need to get back to their country. And I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the scriptures like, that's exactly in the 2nd Ezra chapter 15, where the Most High is going to make it to where you're going to have the, what's it, 2nd Ezra 16 or 15, one of those two, where you're going to have it to where the dragons of Arabia and the wild boars of Carmania, which is Elam, they're going to get together, man. And they're going to fight against Esau, and they're going to win too. Anyway, so it says right here, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 4, then shalt thou understand, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Even since the day of Genesis, there were prophets around them, around in those days too, because you had that in the book of Luke, if I'm correct, where it speaks of the prophets that were before the flood, in the garden. Even let me. see. What is that again? Since the beginning. Oh yeah, Luke 1 and 70. So 7 1. So Luke chapter 1 verse 70, which is 7 1. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So since the world began, the Messiah already had his holy prophets talking to the people, the Anamites. At that time, he was talking to them through those men, through those prophets. They're not really mentioned, especially not by name, but you had certain ones of them, Enoch, Methuselah. He did it. He escaped. He escaped Esau of Cain, actually, because he was a child of Cain, if I'm correct. So he escaped that. There's one Canaanite, well, not Canaanite. I mean, descendants of Cain. Canaanite. It's funny. There's one descendant of Cain that got out of there. He he was good. Methuselah was good too. Oh, no, which one of Enoch? Sorry, but I forgot which Enoch was. But you can read it. You can read it. Enoch and Enoch was of Cain, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. You can look it up if you have the time. So let me finish this up. Let me see what time it is. Okay. Let me finish this up. So 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 6. No? 5. Like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end. And the end is manifest. It's already manifested. It just needs to play out. Just like a movie. The director and the movie people and stuff like that, they already read the script. So the movie is already done. They just need to play it out. And then it goes piece by piece. It takes a very long time. A movie or a series is not made in a few days. It could be, it's possible. But most of the time, especially the big budget movies, the millions and stuff like that, they're not made in a day. Companies are not made in a day. It's made in a length of time, in a period of time. And that's actually the great part of it. But a lot of people only see the end result of it. For example, a lot of people only see the end result of Apple. They don't know the satanic grinding, the murders, the back deal fuckery that they did, the child slavery shit. They don't see all that. What they see is the product, the end result, and they love it. Well, now imagine that in the world, but also imagine that in the beauty of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, which is the Jacob descendants. They don't see the struggle, but they're gonna see the end result. But it's like this: everybody want to be a Nick, but they don't want to be a Nick. They want to have what you have, but they don't want to go through your daily thing, what you go through and stuff like that. So they only see the facade. They only see the beautiful music and stuff like that that the Jacob descendants are playing, or athletism. I don't even know if that's a word. Athleticism, something like that. Whatever. They only see that. They don't see the shit that you go through as a Jacob descendant walking upon the planet Earth. Anyway, so basically, first, 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. For like as all that is made in the world that had to be. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So, it's a manifest destiny. It's already done. It's already written for. It's already written about. The scriptures already talks about it, like this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Esau's gonna get his ass and dusted up. He's gonna be all up in the air, burnt in a nuclear fire, upon an extermination type tip, along with the Jacob descendants that want to hold their hand. Because though hand in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Though hand joined in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to the end is manifest. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rabakodash. Double honor unto the elder apostles and great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures among other things. And shalom to the sincere outcome across the world. Shalom.